Welcome back to another Maxi Boost on commentary. I am Lukewarm Holiday.
And I'm Marissa.
And we're going to watch Strike Noir footage from the Koenji Cube channel. Strike Noir is an evasive, long-range suit. Alright. Strike Noir has a very strong railgun that lets him get very reliable landing punishes at close and long range, as well as just have a strong tool to throw out at close range. His pistols are more just things you press in the meantime whenever you're on angle.
Well, I wouldn't downplay them too much. They used to be quite bad in this game, but they were towards the end of the game they got buffed, and they have like performance similar to a BR, but he can still like shoot them out. So he has like similar presence to suits like Marasai without having to while still having like higher mobility options, and then a sub cancel out of him.
They're still like a bit below regular BR. They're so spammable.
Yeah.
And then he has a side flip that he can do neutrally. I think that one has slightly better correction, but you just don't see it that often. There's the side flip, so you can confirm your mains into your side flip. You can use the side flip for just punishing. You can use it for self-defense. And then the last thing you have is his special melee, which is a wire he grabs onto to just float away for no boost.
It also cuts tracking when you use it. There's his charge shot B, his charge shot melee assist is also very important. It's a very fast charge that sends out like a Garabi, and it's one of his main confirm tools. You really kind of just like fly around, you look for opportunities to land railgun, but because you're holding CSB, what you do instead is you immediately release CSB and then cancel it into sub. And you either like hit confirm out of main, or you just find the punish.
Yep. Now, despite generally preferring to be at longer-ish ranges to mid-range, the fact that you do have such a strong railgun and such a strong escape option means when you do go in, as long as you're taking aggressive landings and such to keep your boost high, you can just escape out of almost any situation. It becomes very hard to actually chase down a Strike Noir.
I suppose we technically forgot to mention his CSA, but like people don't really use it. It's just a load of shots, and at really long range it can be kind of good if the opponent doesn't stat, but all of his other tools are better, and like generally using his main is better than holding onto CS charge shot main. So yeah, people don't really use it very much. Anyway, yeah, like most of what you'll see with Noir basic sequences are going to be just like moving in whilst shooting main, staying relatively close to the ground, and then maybe boost jumping in and firing a couple of mains, looking for a landing or a punish or something like that, releasing the CSB and firing sub, and then backing out and using his wire if he has to get extra distance to back out safely. One of the problems you can have with the suit though is that like if you get like too focused on using wire to escape situations, or rather to like back out, you can often end up like very far away from your partner, and like as a result leave your partner in the middle of nowhere after you've done something, and then they just get rushed. So that's something you have to kind of be careful about, and this player in question is pretty on point about that actually.
Yeah, positioning is very important, because if you just go, oh, I'll run away when nobody's looking at me, nobody will punish me. It's like, well, you're not getting punished, but people also don't care about you. He also has a good anchor wire 2B.
That's true.
But nature of the suit dictates that you don't end up using it as much. So it's very good, it's just you really don't want to be risking yourself like that. Because despite it being good, you also have a railgun that should hit in almost every situation that it does. Esper's Penelope's. What do you mean Strike Noir can avoid?
I'm so amazed he did not get punished for that landing, but there you go. I think one thing also it's worth keeping in mind is that a lot of people sometimes get caught up a bit in like the side ACs, the spin shots. They look cool, but like honestly, they're not really that good. Like, and they're actually deceptively bad for punishing landings as well. Like the core of the core of the suit really is main and railgun and CSB. Like that's like 90% of what you're going to be using, and it's pretty much most of what this guy's using too.
Yes, railgun reloads in like 6 or 7 seconds, so
it also does a lot of damage
spammable.
if you hit both railguns. Like CSB into railgun does like normal damage, but if you don't have a CSB and you hit 2 railguns, that does like 210, 220, maybe a little bit higher than that. It's pretty high damage. It's not so this suit has quite high burst damage potential too.
I wouldn't call that burst, but it's like this suit does deceptively high damage at range. It's like, oh, its damage is low. It doesn't really hit you for big, chunky, like 250 Garobis or stuff like that. But it's like, it's just typical damage output's actually pretty solid.
In this matchup, he's bullying the lower cost much more because in previous games it was like it's better to stay a little bit safer. But here, Build Strike is not nearly as good at defending himself, so he can play a much more aggressive bully style, which is perfectly valid with this thing as well. You just like jump around and you hold your CSB. And you wait for them to do something stupid or land, and just let it go and sub, and it will beat like 90% of things. Especially if you step before it, like it's just so fast.
I just like how all the buttons come out the moment Build Strike shoots off the pack, because Build Strike's mobility with this pack off is so bad.
The suit doesn't have unlimited ammo, but it kind of feels like it with how good it's.
I like how it completely I just said that, but he kept running away, and I'm like. I think he was waiting for CSB, so he didn't want to get hit by that.
Yeah, he just completely dogged this Build Strike out of the game, like, literally didn't do anything.
And didn't take any damage for it.
Nice block from that guy, then.
I still just loved watching Strike Noir back the hell off because he thought the Build Strike through CSB. It basically sends off your backpack and it shoots a very high correcting shot straight down. And if you're underneath it, it will just hit you sometimes. I don't know if there's a specific timing where you can step it reliably, but half the time you don't even see it actually come to you. You only notice it's out because he's missing his backpack. Anyway, now we have Full Saber. And Keradim. Pretty normal team.
Yeah, well, I would imagine that ideally Noir wants to bully Keradim, but they're holding pretty good formation, so he can't really get a good attack vector on Keradim right now, because Full Saber's protecting him quite well. Although, having said that, Full Saber is paying with his life, generally, for protecting Keradim like this, because he's getting double locked pretty hard, and Keradim's not really getting many snipes off.
I think you're fine to just wait out Keradim, because Keradim can't really call out Strike Noir or Reborn's landings that easily. So you can definitely play the slow game.
This is one of the few, like, suits that's quite high tier that has, like, no fast fall really at all. Oh, that was a nice snipe.
That was a good snipe.
Yeah, that was a good snipe calling out the BC. This suit just manages to stay safe in, like, I wouldn't say unorthodox ways, but in ways that, like, other suits don't really have. Okay, Full Saber blowing F-Burst, just getting the hell out of there and wasting as much time on the F-Burst as possible. Then beasting over his head. Beasting over people's head is a really good technique to know how to use.
Oh, there's an example of the neutral AC having slightly better correction.
I would actually say it's significantly better correction, but like obviously it's much less evasive.
Okay. Yeah.
And obviously the problem is that if they just shoot you when you're trying to do it, like to punish their landing, then you get hit as well. So yeah.
But he saw the Keratin was close. He didn't quite know other than he's going to take an aggressive landing, so he went and did it and got the hit. Now he's going to feint a bunch of landings so he doesn't get punished, and he avoided getting punished.
I should also probably point out, you probably may have noticed, but like his BC doesn't cost any boost at all, so that's another big part of this suit's, that's another reason like this suit's evasiveness can be really strong.
There's a bug I need to mention with this suit that's been in since forever. If you're shooting main as you're landing, your BC will not reload. So if you BC away and just start shooting main as you fall and you hit the ground while pressing main, your BC will not reload. It's supposed to start reloading on landing. So you have to be careful to not be pressing main as you hit the ground.
Look how fast that is. Look how fast it is. Point blank, F burst, still counters, comes out.
It's basically your melee. It's so fat. Does a bunch of damage. Gets people off you. But yeah, if you BC away, spam main as you fall and hit the ground, your BC will not reload on landing. It has to wait till your next landing.
Speaking of his melee, he has pretty mediocre melee for the most part, really. Like, there isn't really any melee with the suit that you actively want to look to land, for the most, really. Like, you can use wire, like you said before, but his 6B is pretty mediocre. His neutral melee is mediocre. CC8B is okay, but, yeah. This is probably, like, I would say this is probably, out of all the, like, good suits that aren't, like, Keratin back suits, I would say this suit probably has some of the worst melee out of all of them. But unfortunately, he doesn't need it because
GPO3's is pretty bad. He just has one fantastic one.
Exactly. Like he has a melee that he'll actually look to land. That's the difference. Like this suit has like nothing that you really look to land at all. Like even for general movement, 6B is like not something you really like to land melee with this suit. You have to make them so scared of your sub that they do stupid things, basically. Like that's the only way you land anything, and then the damage off it isn't even great.
It's just you never really want.
Oh, that was a really sick. Like I can't believe that Kshatriya did not get hit by that CSB, but then got hit by the next one anyway. Oh,
he just got caught.
Yeah, the.
It's amazing how much you can use CSB to like protect yourself against melee suits rushing at you as well.
Yeah, like if you fire it and then like basically just boost into it, it's like you can't get meleeed. It's another important thing. Doing things like releasing CSB into BC is also pretty good.
I like how they're at the same HP. 434 for both.
They just need 14 less.
That's rare. Yeah, it was mostly just spraying at Kshatriya.
You actually just saw the glitch happen because... there, by the way. Like, I don't know if you were paying attention, but like the BC wasn't reloading even though he landed until he landed again.
Yep. Just don't press main as you land out of a BC sequence, unless you like need to protect your landing.
Well, he's gonna burst. Yeah, he's just gonna burst and not take any damage here. Yep, because his burst refills his BC, and then he's just out again.
Also, notice the first action he did when he burst was do the BC, just so he can start floating. Because it uses no boost, so you start moving.
You cut guidance, you start moving, and you get more height, and then you can just wait. Yeah.
You can just wait, and you still have your full boost, half a boost bar left to decide how you want to counterattack.
Ooh, that may have been a miss. I think that was a misinput, but it doesn't matter.
Alright, Reborns and Age Effects. This is more annoying than it seems because Age Effects is a very annoying back. Like, anytime you see an Age Effects backing, even if it's double 3K, like, it's nowhere near as much of a meme as you think it is. It's very risky, but it works. The issue in the comp isn't its strength, it's its volatility. Because if too much damage gets put on the Age Effects, then things start getting bad.
Okay, bursting on him, yeah, okay. Couldn't get out of that in time.
Yeah, Reborn just went straight in with the sub, that's good.
Still kept his health pretty high, they're in a fairly good spot. HFX hasn't really taken much damage, but like that's okay.
No, here's the actual issue now, is if Reborns dies too fast and HFX never gets to be put into its low HP mode. I've been calling it blast mode, which was wrong, it's just burst mode, and I'm like, that's even more confusing.
Well, that's a pretty... That was a ballsy burst, and that paid off.
He seems content just trying to kill Reborns again. Because it's like, okay, HFX is going to get stuck in its weaker mode. Okay, HFX is moving up the front. Reborns is holding onto its HP. I think it's holding burst.
Yeah, this suit is just
more damage
really,
on
really
Reborns and Age Effects.
Like, in terms of what you do. Okay, so BC just burst, extend burst out on the very first hit. Minimum damage taken, maximum HP regulation, getting out. Stalling. Surprise melee at the end of the sequence instead of landing, which is good. It's good to do that. If you're gonna get hit anyway, you may as well try.
Yeah. Then they're both low. Minune had F burst stock, so... Or not Minune, Pound. Pound's... Reborns, isn't it? Let me double check.
Yes.
Yes, it is. But notice how like long that match had to be just because you had the firepower of double 3K.
Raphael. You also
a lot of the what Raphael's doing.
Also, like, don't underestimate the Greenlock firing he's doing because, to be fair, obviously the Garubi is good in Greenlock as well, but like the sub travels fast enough that you know.
It also reloads in 6 seconds, so if you were literally across the map and the time it takes for you to cross the map, it'll be back again.
And you also have buttloads of ammo as well, so like there's not really anything wrong with just firing in Greenlock either. Obviously, you don't want to do that ideally, but in this matchup, he's like focusing pretty hard on avoiding the Cerevi, basically. So he's like making sure he has like a good sight of like what's going on in the battlefield for the most part, and keeping track of where Cerevi is.
Yeah, he actually burnt BC because he was worried about Cerevi effective punishing him. He is landing.
Now he's going to probably push in a bit more on Raphael when Raphael has...
Ooh,
that was a really good...
That was a great bait on the GN drive. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Or GN shield.
Okay, Cerevi's back off, but it doesn't matter. You're trapped in against the wall, so you had no movement options to get away from that.
Don't know why he finished that for him.
I'm getting too close, I'm just gonna back in now.
Mm-hmm. You have to start preemptively moving away from Wing Zero TV. If you're too close and he just boosts like 3 or 4 times stubbornly into you, it's actually very, very scary.
Well, Raphael's dead in the next. I call. Yeah. Oh no, he has an extend burst. Never mind.
Yeah.
I forgot.
420. Hit the funny number. They're both so low.
Oh. Oh, he had no main ammo to finish that there. That was actually like a perfect sequence, but he just ran out of main ammo right when Raphael was landing in his face.
Anyway, I'm gonna skip to a different match for our last one. And this is just one of my favorite Strike Noir matches I've seen. To cap this video off.
This is Channery's. Weren't watching him before, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Full Saber and GPO3. GPO3 is pretty hard to hit. Strike Noir gets the first hit on him.
Ooh, that was... Man, Channery's Noir is like much more aggressive, like flying straight out and going for a wire.
Yeah.
Oh no, he had no sub or CSB? Okay.
This is you also get to see them using the AC and railgun tools far more aggressively. Which he's playing with a 7 sword, so he needs to make himself more of a problem, whereas with Reborns he has the luxury of just kind of chilling out and waiting. Another reason why I wanted to show this match. Full Saber gets his kill. A bit uncomfortably close versus this F burst. And gets punished for it. And Shima just got supered.
Unfortunately, partner's pretty low.
So like they're really behind at this point. 57 or 54 HP on the Noir. The front's at half. Gets a lucky hit on that first landing when Full Saber just tries to take a landing.
No, that was like he was just moving into the wall diagonally, and I was just like, you're not moving enough for this. GPO catching 7 sword's pretty difficult though, so.
Yeah, GPO3 tried to catch 7 sword and got a punish on him.
The enemy team can't really make their mind up on who they're going after right now.
Well, you can't really close on 7 sword either, and Strike Noir's both... Like, these suits are both obscenely hard to hit. So when they want to go on someone, they really need to attack the same person.
Nice defense.
Great defense against the 2BC.
GPO3 just wasn't there to get the punish, though.
Notice that he has a full E-burst on first life, because he's been doing the majority of the damage this game. Catches the GPO3,
yeah, the
finally
game is completely
kills that
even
GPO.
at this point, like, pretty much.
It is.
They're going, fuck it, let's go kill 7 sword. So he has to...
Yeah, he got like a couple lucky hits on Full Saber, and then was always there to follow up the punishes.
He has to burst out to help defend his partner, basically, and that's what he's done. He's gonna die here, though.
Die in burst.
But now with dying, he gave burst to his partner, so...
Nah, he was holding it this whole match, I think.
Pretty big comeback.
But yeah, you also get a peek of a more aggressive style with this suit. Anyway, that's it for today. See ya.
See ya.